now there's only 3 scouts, four.
It depends on which Fuku.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about 4 scouts. There's only 4 scouts that don't have stripes, and that is Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto in their originals. Yep, in Crystal, because it is based on what school uniform they wear in the anime or the manga. That's how many stripes have they.
For this pattern right here, this is the one that I always use. I discovered it like doing a Google search one time ago.
I think this is a link to
The
it
link
down
is
here.
down here. If you Google just Sailor Fuku collar, it'll pop up. It looks really complicated, but honestly, I'm just looking at the picture and I'm like,
It is such a.
I can do that. Yeah, it's the curves. The curves help it lay so much better. If you do just the straight, then it kind of just
Yeah, like when
It
it does,
doesn't
you can
work.
see how it's laying.
It's weird. It looks weird, but if you dust it out and you draw it, I actually use newspaper when I made my first collars, and you'll realize if you just do a straight one, it flares out. It's just not going to work. Curves are your best friend.
pretty much.
And it looks straight when it's on your body. So
Yeah, and it works for pretty much any type of school uniform color you have to. Like we cosplayed the card captors.
Yeah, card
The school
captors.
uniforms, and I use this. I just extended the back.
Yeah, and literally it's perfect. All right, moving on.
I know I'm going to add a quick little caveat. Megan mentioned earlier how we pinned all the stripes on. If you are making a Fuku collar and you don't pin your stripes really evenly, after you sew it, they'll be really wonky. So you have to sew it on one layer, pin it down, make sure it's absolutely perfect. And then when you're actually sewing it, make sure your seam allowance does not change. Because once it does, then all of a sudden, that beautiful, wonderful edge that you silhouetted is now gone. And you want to make sure it's really nice and clean. Anywhere your pin is holding, that's where it's going to be. And so you want to make sure they're super clean.
another option is fabric paint. I painted mine.
Yeah, that's also an option.
But you have to be super careful making sure you have really straight lines.
Yeah, I'm really good at painting, so
I like straight.
Yeah, no, she painted all the plot on her Mugen.
I made the Neptune school uniform that has all the stripes. Every stripe is same.
Actually, we both did that. Why did we both do
Because
that?
we hate ourselves.
We hate ourselves.
Just whatever.
It was 22 hours for mine, and how long did yours take?
I don't know. It took a whole weekend of pain and crying.
Yeah, so 22 hours and a whole weekend for
A
doing
lot of
Mugen.
painter's tape.
Right. So chest armor, we kind of went over this. Basically, take the leotard pattern, shorten it. You can see where Sasha actually, one side is longer. That's how much we left for trying on. Literally, just make adjustments, hem it, and then attach your shoulder rolls.
What I did to measure where I wanted to end, I just kind of followed my boot. Where it ended. This one's a little bit longer. This isn't the same one in this picture.
Airy, like mine is.
Yeah, hers is that one. I did not finish.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk. All right, so moving on. So what's next? Roll sleeves. So this changes a lot.
Really sucks if you're Saturn.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need to cover Saturn. I wasn't even gonna go there. All right, so we're gonna go over. So the basic one is this one, which is the three. If there are those that you don't know, I just got in from San Diego Comic-Con this morning, so I'm really tired.
Yeah, it's the 3 stuffed rolls.
Now, the difference is that in the anime one, which, who's wearing anime? Is there, well, you can see, I don't know if the mouse is moving.
There's Jupiter.
No, I have my Neptune one.
Okay, it's gonna be on.
Alright, this is actually my Super Neptune, but you get the similar, these are stuffed with, what did you do? You know what, I don't know. It's actually, it's polyfill, and it's rounded. So now the difference is this one is crystal, and in crystal they're actually flatter. So what we did is we took 4 layers of batting that you use for quilting, and you can see down here how literally took stripes and sewed it, and this is the end result before you put it onto the fuku.
And it's not the white batting. It's the natural kind of, it's like kind of an off-white.
It's kind of expensive.
It's like, I think our price were $10 and we got them on sale. They were $14 and we got them on sale for
But
$10.
you can actually buy them, if you're talking about the quilt batting, you can buy it by the yard. So you can get as small as you want.
Yeah.
And I think it's like $12 a yard, but you're getting 110 inches times whatever length that you get.
Yeah, the rolls are like from the stage to like here.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
They're huge.
And this way, they should always
on it with a
connect
buddy.
Yeah.
on the bottom, and they should never fit too far out. If you look at the rolls in crystal and in the old anime, they almost like hug your shoulders. So it was really hard because you can actually see in my first round, mine went out a little bit too far. So trust me, it was so easy. With the rounded ones, it's actually a lot trickier. This one, I think I took it off or I adjusted it maybe 6 or 7 times. Because it's all about fit on your body. Try on, try on, try on.
I actually just sewed the bottom side inward a little bit to help pull it down.
Yeah,
Mine are
just
actually-
been in.
Mine aren't starched on the inside here, but if you actually brought it in, like tightened it so that it would go through.
Yep. Sasha, you want to hit super? Oh no, your sleeves.
Moon and Chibi are the only ones that actually have these ones.
Well, they have every scout when they turn super has one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for these, sorry, it's been a long day. I actually on the inside you can't see it, but I have a clear vinyl and it's the same thing with my bow. You kind of see the plasticiness. It's super cheap. It's in upholstery. You can also get it at Walmart. And I just kind of cut it to shape. The bow, because the size of it has wire in it, that is an option for these. You just have to be careful that you don't extend it out or you're going to have bloody shoulders. The first ones I made had that issue, and I got rid of them as soon as I realized how painful they would be.
Oh no, my friend used Coke bottles.
Oh yeah, that's
That's a pretty good idea.
Somebody left a water bottle open. That wasn't mine.
All right, and then the other one, let's leave it to the adult to actually talk about Chris.
Eternal. Eternal, you can buy this Snow White princess pattern to use. I actually use 2 separate princess patterns, funny enough. I don't remember what the other one was. But the Snow White one was one of them. And then in order to do my rolls, the inside is actually just some cheap rope. That I was like, that looks about right. That's $1. Get the basket.
What were you doing? Cosplay on a budget?
Yeah, every cosplay's on a budget, baby.
You and I shop the same way.
So I was like, oh, cool. That looks about right. So I made sure it was the right. I was actually made this for a group, and they put a supply list of like, must buy this at this size. So I made sure that it was the right size, even if I was doing an alternative, and that it would be. I went and felt what we were supposed to have and what my alternative rope would be, because you don't want to have like a hard roll and they have soft rolls when you're supposed to be in that identical group.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually really easy to do. I wanted to make them snap on and off, but I ran out of time. So I basically just cut out the pattern and sewed it. I don't really sew to patterns. I use them to be like, okay, that's the shape I need. Zoom, and then hope it's right.
And also with like shoulder things, we've debated on what it's actually called.
Yeah.
It's better if you're able to minus the Eternals, attach it to your armor, your chest armor, rather than the leotard.
Yes.
Then you can use leotard for more things and just switch out chest armor.
Yeah, if you guys notice, like whenever my armor came off, these came off.
Yeah, that's why it's like one of these to be snapped on, so I could just use this as a base and then make the shoulder or the armor and everything.
Yeah.
Big
I'm
thing,
gonna make a new one anyway.
big thing to note with the Eternals, they do not have chest armor. They are the only Fukus that do not have chest armor, and that goes from Moon all the way down to Chippy. All right, and then if you guys saw, we were both running around in Eternals today. The way I did ours, because we did ours off the Sparkle Pipsy method. Sparkle Pipsy is senpai. I love her. She's my favorite.
She's very great.
Adore her. Her group is, we're actually in a group that our Mars bought their Mars. So we had to match her. So what you do is actually a Disney method. You take ballet tulle and you line the sleeves, and then you line that with cotton so it doesn't rub against
Oh
your
yeah, their shoulder rolls aren't see. I chose to go the there's lots of choices you can make with the Fukus.
Yes.
So I went more the manga method where their shoulders are see-through as well as the bottom skirt, where you guys went with other manga art where it's not see-through.
There is no consistency with these costumes.
Yes, so
at all.
theirs
But
has
those
the
look
more
really good.
rounder shape because you're able to fill it with batting because nobody can see it.
Yeah, and
So
but
I
it's
thought
ballet
about
tulle.
putting more inside mine.
It's just the tool the way it's sewn, but the nice thing about it is that, okay, the hardest part about the poopy shoulder thing is that you don't want to look like a football player.
Yes. That's why I swear by that Snow White pattern. I
It's
use it
great.
for all my princesses for my company, and then I literally just used it, locked the fabric with the tulle and the cotton, and it was beautiful.
And it's very thin. It doesn't actually, it feels like one layer of fabric when you're wearing it, but it has a nice shape to it. You didn't do anything to get there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we did anything fancy. I literally just was like, all right, well, I'm going to pleat this edge here so that it looks better, and then we just sewed it, and it was fabulous.
Yep.
So, and your shoulder is really awesome. It's just, they come in colors, and yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I got lucky. Pluto's easy.
Pluto's black and
Silver,
white.
black and white, and maroon.
just-
Boom, done.
Lucky.
Anything with Mercury and Neptune and Uranus, there's very limited blues and very limited greens. So Neptune is literally the hardest to find colors with.
You do not want to know the amount of crying I do over colors. They've heard it. They've heard all of it.
I'm a huge color Nazi, so I was like, I'll be Pluto. Great.
Are you-
I will not have a panic attack over
Are you
it.
proud of me though? I got
Yes,
Crystal.
it's perfect.
Crystal, she's green, which is never mind. I'm being important. All right. So skirt part 1 is there's 3 parts.
We could do a whole panel just on
The skirts. That's how complicated. All right. So the type of fuku determines the type of skirt. The different methods that people use are circle skirts, box pleats, knife pleats, double circle skirts with knife pleats, and horsehair. So we're gonna go over, I guess, the different. Yeah, here. Let's go to the front so that you guys can see it.
circles.
Well, yeah.
Ours are gonna be like.
I have a circle skirt that's box pleated.
Yeah. So this is a box pleated circle skirt, which is kind of what you have. What do we?
Our Eternals are actually just box pleated, but they're double layered box pleats, which are an entire other piece because you're trying to box pleat 2 pieces of fabric at the same time.
Which
And
is
then
okay
like-
with this because the under fabric's paper.
Yeah,
Which
it's
makes
sort
it
of
really
with ours is
easy.
heavy
But ours
satin.
also had horsehair, and horsehair doesn't like the box
Nope.
pleat. But it looked really good. It just didn't like
So,
You kind of fight it.
all right. So I guess go down. All right. So start with Carol.
Yeah, it's 2 circle skirts that I sewed them together and then box pleated them and then sewed down the box pleats and then I'll get to the belt later.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah. All right. Supermoon.
This was actually just a really, really, really long piece of fabric. The front had 1 box pleat, and all the rest of the knife pleats were just the ones that overlapped.
Oh yeah, I guess these are knife pleats.
I do
don't
have
know,
to add,
so.
because Sailor Moon had different colors, there's actually 2 different ways to do this. In some manga images, it's actually a gradient dye. I'm not crazy about that. I've seen people cosplay it. I feel like
It's hard.
It's hard
when
to
it's
grade.
done correctly. It is. That's airbrushed. Really.
I went with the straight color because I think it looks cleaner. It looks more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I did just with the cheeks, so that's how we decided to do it. But all I did is I packed all that together. Like, oh, I lined it. I forgot I lined this. You can line your skirts too. It's a lot easier if you're doing just a straight rectangle of fabric.
All right. I'm gonna go over. This is a picture of my super from the '90s anime. Which okay. So what that is actually Kona cotton knife pleated with a cut V, which is based off the Sparkle Fancy tutorial that we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Yeah.
I just had to cut the as well.
Honestly.
Oh, we're talking about fabrics too?
No, sorry, that was my bad. It's because that's the only picture I put up here, so that's what I was thinking. So, but that is what knife pleats look like, and they were, but that's like '90s anime pleats. And then we did Crystal. You get to talk about that one.
Okay. What's the one before? Okay. So this is actually this is a circle skirt, but it's actually not a single skirt. Circle skirt. It's 2.5 circle skirt. That was sewn together. So they're, as you can see, modeled by our lovely Neptune. It's a lot of layers, and so it's a circle skirt, and then it's went through into the knife pleating. Knife pleating is just literally when you take a piece of fabric like this, you grab it, and you fold it over, and then you pin it, and then you do it the same direction the next time, like so, and you end up getting this nice little chain effect, which is what both of our skirts do. Because circle skirts, the knife pleats don't stay super clean because they're circled, so they spread out a whole bunch.
But in Crystal, they're relaxed knife pleats. In the anime, '90s anime, they are
Like super specific.
Depending on what episode you're
Yes.
okay. I am going with that they are harsh knife pleats, like knife pleats you can cut
And
bread on.
depending on the group you're with.
Yes.
Like I did the way it was is because it was decided 3-inch box pleat with 3-inch knife, 3 by 2-inch knife pleats all the way around, so that when we all stood next to each other, our skirts are very similar because the manga artist draws them exactly the freaking same. So.
All right. So skirts part 2. Fabric means everything. Everything in the universe. All right.
First one, satin bridal. That's what I used. I used Casa satin. That's why I lined it because Casa
I
didn't
don't
get
know. This is some black stuff from Miami I made my bunny suit out of last year, and I was like, I still have a ton of this.
Nice.
All right.
Go.
All right. The other one is Kona cotton, which if you look at my fufu over there, that is made out of Kona cotton because I'm a color person. person, and it needed the right color. Cotton sateen, which
you'll usually find it with the bottom weights at Joann's. It's a thicker fabric. It comes in pretty limited colors, so
you have to dye it.
you have to dye it, but it's beautiful fabric to work with. It has a very slight sheen to it. I swear by it. I make so much stuff out of it.
This actually might be that.
That could be it, yeah.
Because I know I had to, because it was the group. It might be Cosplay. I know I bought it to
Oh, yeah, it might be
Cosplay. But we were all, somebody went to Joann's and was like, you buy this one, you buy this one.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was intense group.
Alright, this is actually gabardine, which is a type of suiting. And then I do not recommend this method.
Some
Do
people
not
like
recommend
it
this
because
method.
it's more comfortable. The spandex. That's good if it's supposed to be a straight, like, it's good for circles. So you can't pleat it because you can't iron it. You can't iron pleats. You just try and iron spandex.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
So that is only if you are like a super experienced seamstress who knows what she wants and what she's doing.
Or you're just doing circles.
And if you have really bad luck, so the skirt that I'm wearing right now totally looks matte, and it totally looks like it's actually satin.
It's just the
It's
back
not satin.
We switched it.
Because I used this satin for my Eternals, because the Eternals are shiny, and Crystal is not shiny. So we actually just inverted the fabric and used it twice, which is great.
Yeah, that's what my bows are
especially
made
when you
out of.
already have
I do
colors.
that all the time.
Or if you want to do Neptune, who has really weird color choices, you might not always find the color you want, but if you flip the fabric over, sometimes you can use the back side, which is technically the wrong side, but it's only wrong if you don't intend it to happen that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I really don't like super shiny fabrics.
This is
a lot of
super shiny.
Joann's availability is really shiny, so a lot of my costumes are actually the wrong side of shiny fabric because the non-shiny is not good enough either. So
She honestly forced me to do shiny for Eternals because I am such an
they
anti-shiny person.
are shiny.
yeah, they are shiny.
They are super sparkly, and I had to believe it.
Alright, yes.
I say pretty please.
I've heard people using silk to do Fuku. What's your opinion on that?
It's expensive. It's really difficult to work with.
You can't
and it's
iron
very
it.
thin. So it's
Yeah, if you want to put horsehair and silk, you're gonna have a bad time.
like one of the reasons why I actually lined the costume even the costume was too thick was because it wouldn't hold its shape. So it just kind of lays limp, and when you look at photos later, you'll notice like it kind of hangs. I've seen people do it well, but it has to be super full.
Usually those are like the seamstresses who've done fukus before, or they've worked with the materials before.
And the thing with silk is that most silk is actually not readily available. The silk that Joanne sells is silk Dubioni. And if you know anything about Dubioni, it has one side which is matte and one side that's super shiny. And it's super shiny. It's also really thick and hard to manipulate. And it wrinkles terribly. And if you try to iron it, you can actually burn it. So it's a really delicate fabric, and it also comes somewhere between $20 to $40 a yard.
Yeah.
So
if you
it's
feel very
high
plain
maintenance
Russian
or high
roulette.
price, it's not worth it.
So yeah.
The reason why we recommend things like polyester type fabrics, suitings and gabardine, all these things with satin. Satins is polyester. It irons really well, so it holds pleats better, which is part of the reason why we go in that direction.
Yes.
You can use silk if you want to go and do something special and specific, but for the most part, it's going to be more hassle than it is going to be aesthetically.
Yes. All right. So
Rolls. Actually, it's different.
yeah, we have 3 different types of hip rolls, and then I have the 4th one on the screen. All right. So Carol, I actually have your progress photos too for you.
Cool.
I put them all up there for you.
Yeah. So for my hippo, I don't own the fake person.
Mannequin.
Oh, a mannequin. I don't own a mannequin. Those are expensive. So also because it's hard, especially the plus size ones, they're like double the price and they're not even double the size. It's horse food. Anyway, so I actually took newspaper and had a friend help me draw the shape of the half of the belt on my own hip, and then I used that newspaper as a template. And God, what did I do? Okay, so I used the newspaper, and oh yeah, that's what I did. So I cut out just a solid black of the newspaper template, which is the inside, and then I cut the newspaper piece itself into 3 pieces and cut out the black, white, and gray. I took the black and the gray. Oh, I can get real complicated with this. Basically, I sewed it on real pretty, and
Just like this.
yes. And then I actually took the gray and I sewed the skirt directly onto the gray, and then flipped it. So it looks like that. I followed. I kind of followed a tutorial and then I YOLO'd it and it turned out great. So, but yes, made a paper template to me, cut out the back side, cut out the other sides, and then just kind of had to play with it. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever used your story of any kind? What kind of methods do you use to clean sort of detergents? How do you make sure that it doesn't get
I follow costume theater rules where I do not eat in costume.
Yep.
As I have a theater background,
Well,
they would
besides
slap stuff out of us.
anything else, like a splash of water?
Okay, so there's methods that you can use for when you're cleaning. Okay, so like sweat. We go to conventions, and it's Florida, so it's hot. And I can tell you earlier, I was in my eternal Fuku outside for like an hour and a half. Stupid.
Why?
Because people I had to. And so, yes, I was out there for a while. And then I melted, and I was like, I could feel the sweat from my tiara dripping on my nose. And I was like, have to go inside. So to take sweat out, a lot of people use the method where they take vodka and water and mix it in a water bottle or alcohol or spray it, and it helps kill the scent. So you don't actually have to wash it. Yes, or some people like to use Febreze, but I'm going to tell you right now, any kind of chemical you throw on your fabric is maybe not going to be.
Okay, almost all of my costumes I wear underlayers with, so that I sweat on the underlayers. So like with my Fuku, I actually wear 2 pieces of shapewear. The inner shapewear is basically there to get all the gross stuff, so that I can throw that in the wash, and then I have the outer shapewear that's just for smoothing, and then the Fuku. So none of my actual skin really ends up touching the costume, and especially because I wear dance tights and all that too. So.
But most fabric when you buy it's going to tell you the washing instructions. As long as you follow them, you'll be alright. Most of the time it's you wash in cold water, and then you can either hang it to dry or
I hand wash everything with like a free and clear detergent.
Yes.
So I get my scissors from
Thank you.
Publix. Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you for coming. And I hand wash and hang dry. I do every costume I own. Unless it's cotton, then I'll throw it in the dryer to get rid of wrinkles. But
Yeah, I actually threw almost all of my Kona cotton into the wash. You can. I actually throw mine in the wash. I'm gonna be straight up.
You can
throw
actually
it in the
put
wash.
it on like gentle cycle.
just
Yeah,
no
I
heat.
You can
No
wash
heat.
it.
No heat.
All right, Bose, because we're running out of time. All right, DeviantArt is your friend. If you don't have an account, it's okay. You can still go on. But yeah, you don't even need it. That's it. Sparkle Pipsy again.
I use Sparkle Pipsy for mine.
Same.
Same.
The other
the
Bo
best.
method. Oh, sorry.